This might be an unpopular opinion, but this is my 2025 travel prediction. I believe that in 2025, Detroit is going to be a city that is starting to pop up more and more as a popular travel destination. I would not make a travel prediction like this without receipts, so here we go. First things first, the Oculus just listed Aesthetic City Guide of Detroit, Michigan. It's a pretty popular travel blog type thing. And for them to post this, I think is like a huge moment for Detroit. Also, the list was fantastic. Okay, next up, Trav Media's IMM conference this past year in 2024, which is a conference that connects the travel industry, basically like tours and boards and hotels and things, with medias. Example, like people who write or take photos or will put your brand out into the world. Visit Detroit was one of the lunch sponsors. I don't know why you would sponsor something like this if you weren't trying to get Detroit out more and more and into the media. Therefore, it could have been people this past year making media, or maybe in 2025, they are trying to line up people to come and promote Detroit. My next reason Detroit is literally going on the map is because Edition Hotels is building a residence and hotel right here in Detroit. I don't think Edition Hotels are just popping up anywhere, and this is the first one in the Midwest. They literally chose Detroit over Chicago. I wonder why. Next on my list, let's go sports. I did have to confirm my fact checks with my friend, but even I know that the Lions are doing great this year. If the Lions do in fact make it to the Super Bowl, this is going to be such a huge moment for the city of Detroit. Even when they had the draft here this past year, the city was insane. I accidentally ended up down there during the draft, and although it was wild, it was so cool to see the city that alive and full of life. So I'm just saying, if the Super Bowl is here, even though the Super Bowl isn't actually here, if the Lions are in the Super Bowl, I think the city is going to be unhinged. Detroit already also hosts the Rocket Mortgage Classic, which is the golf tournament every year, and it gets like a huge turnout in a lot of media. You guys, I literally have more. If you follow Lauren Saddington, her and her husband recently came on an epic trip to Detroit. It was also partially sponsored and in partnership with Roost Detroit, which is the hotel at Book Tower. They are huge Lions fans now. Well, Lauren was, but she's now converted her husband. But they made Detroit look incredible. And I say I go to Detroit all the time and frequent it for work and for fun. Like, even I was like, oh, I've never done that. It looks incredible. I need to go do that. So whatever light they were shining on the city really made it look good. Also, absolutely love the comment section. People were so excited to see Detroit looking like this. One thing about people from Michigan, Detroit, Metro Detroit, we love Michigan. You can travel anywhere and spot a Michigan person because 9 times out of 10, they own a piece of clothing or something that says Detroit or Michigan or one of the sports team. I don't know if other states do this or if this is just a Michigan thing, but one thing about Michigan people is we love it. If you follow Rami Travel, who is actually also from Michigan, she even made a whole video about one of her favorite travel tips is wearing something that is an identifier, and hers is a Detroit Tigers hat. So that way when you're out and you're traveling somewhere and you don't know anyone, because Michigan people love Michigan people, they're like, oh my gosh, we're from Michigan too. It's a whole thing. It happens all the time. Needless to say, I think it's going to be a really interesting year for the city and even the next few years to see how the tourism takes off. Not to mention, Detroit has one of the best airports in the country, so it is ready to accommodate everyone flying in. We're a Delta hub and have so many direct flights internationally and across the country. Let me know what you think in the comments because I'm very curious to see how all of this plays out.